Hello and welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I am your host, Miss Rebecca Jane Felgate, and today I'm talking about the top 10 scary Pennywise theories. And, well, actually, there are a couple on this list that may well shock you. They shocked me. Before we get into this video though, why don't you guys let me know if you've seen It Chapter 2 yet? It's spooky, it's scary. Also, please do let me know what your favourite Stephen King novel is. Mine's probably The Talisman, which he wrote with Peter Straub, but I really like it. Good train scene, very good train. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I love reading out your thoughts, so do stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to be replying to some comments. If you haven't yet left a thumbs up on this video, then please do go ahead and do so. It makes me know that you like our content. Check out the links in the description box for our sources and connect with us off screen on social media. Okay, let's do this. Coming in at number 10, we have It and The Shining. I love the YouTube channel The Film Theorists. They have nearly 8 million subscribers and I totally understand why. They earned it with their great theories. There is a link in the description box for this one, so do check out their video explaining the ins and outs of this theory. I'll just give you the headlines. So, they connect Danny's ability in The Shining, aka his shining, his physical ability. They think that it is also shared by the Losers Club and that actually the ghost that convinces Danny's dad Jack to go Coco Loco is actually Pennywise, just in a different shape. Shape-shifting ghoul. Coming in at number 9, we have Stranger Things. So I am talking about season 2 of Stranger Things here, which I'm assuming you've all watched by now because it's on season 3, but in case you haven't, well, close your ears for just a few seconds. Okay, can we have a moment's silence for Bob? Bob! What a good guy! He was killed in a very, very savage way too. He didn't deserve that. Bob Newby tries to help Will Byers by dealing with his trauma. He shares a scary experience from his own childhood too. He says that when he was young, he had a recurring dream of a clown called Mr. Boldo who tried to give him a balloon. Sound familiar? Bob, by the way, we find out was brought up in Maine, which is where It takes place. Coincidence? Unlikely. It seems that the creators of Stranger Things may have dropped a subtle hint that Pennywise is real. Perhaps he's an agent of the Upside Down. His deadlights are kind of pretty similar. Or perhaps there is an even bigger evil than that lurking underneath Hawkins. Coming into number 8, we have the spiders. A fan theory was shared on Reddit linking it to the movie Coraline, and I'm actually pretty on board. So Pennywise reveals what we think is its true form when it turns into a giant massive spider. In Coraline, the character of Other Mother is also a shapeshifter capable of reality manipulation, eating emotion to feed herself, a lot like Pennywise, who also eats children. Other Mother reveals her true form to be Bedlam, a giant spider monster. Ringing any bells? Perhaps Pennywise and Bedlam or Other Mother are related. Creepy. Short and sweet up next. Coming into number 7, we have the deadlights and the balloons. So we see deadlights in It. They're a non-physical extra dimension. It's all pretty crazy and mind-bending. It's speculated that the deadlights are an innumerable amount of balloons filled with a glowing light, which are actually the lost souls of the children that Pennywise has preyed on, floating endlessly in his mouth. Pennywise does seem to steal kids' souls after they look into the deadlights, and I really do like the metaphor of souls being balloons. Coming into number 6, Pennywise is based on Pogo the Clown. There is a strong theory out there that Pennywise, a mythical but horrific being that masquerades as a clown, is actually based on real-life murderer John Wayne Gacy, who was scarily similar, a nasty killer who dressed as a clown. John Wayne Gacy made headlines in the late 1970s when he was arrested and charged for the murder of 33 teenage boys and young men. Gacy became known as the killer clown in the media as he would often attend local events and children's parties dressed as a clown that he called Pogo. He helped spark the killer clown trope. Stephen King published It in 1986 and says that he began writing in 1981, which was shortly after Gacy's trial made national and international news. It does also kind of seem like Pennywise has a fixation with boys, a lot like the murderer. The Losers Club is predominantly males with just one female member. Coming into number 5, Bill Skarsgård was scarred for life. Thank you can have that one for free. Pennywise is portrayed by 29-year-old actor Bill Skarsgård of the acting dynasty. Bill did an incredible job on both of the It movies and always seems like a jovial guy in interviews. However, fulfilling the rigors of the role has reportedly taken a toll on him. The actor has admitted to having nightmares of Pennywise long after the movie wrapped. He said, "I was home and done with the movie and I started having very strange dreams and vivid Pennywise dreams. Every night he came and visited, it was the shape of either me dealing with him, sort of Pennywise as a separate entity of me, and then also me as Pennywise in circumstances that I didn't appreciate." Skarsgård said that he thought that it was a process of letting go of the monster that he'd created in himself. Heath Ledger's mental health was affected by his role as the Joker, which is said to have played a large part in his decline, so hopefully Bill Skarsgård can put the monster behind him. Coming into number 4, Stephen King was in the Losers Club. This theory suggests that it was real and that actually Stephen King wrote the book based on his own experience before his memories could fade. It is theorized that King is Bill Denborough. King is from Maine, where the fictional town of Derry is located. Redditor BrownSnake84 thinks that the experiences in It happened to King when he was a kid growing up in the area, and his writing is a way of dealing with his traumatizing experiences. It is thought that King founded the Losers Club, and with the help of Ben Hescombe and Mike Hanlon, he was able to piece together what happened to them before they could forget. Coming into number 3, we have 2012. It is thought that the Losers Club averted the predicted 2012 apocalypse. We know that Pennywise is an ancient evil, and it is largely speculated that he gets stronger each time he regenerates. According to the original timeline of It, the Losers Club originally met Pennywise in the 1950s, and he popped back for more doom and gloom in the 1980s. While the movies have adjusted the timeline, the last time in the books we see Pennywise is 1985, which means 27 years later would have been 2012, the years that the Mayans predicted the world would end. Those who read the books thought that if Pennywise had been left to his own devices, he would have returned and destroyed the world. Some thought he was even going to make a return in that year. The movies have a new timeline, but perhaps 27 years from now, it will be time to reignite the tale. Okay, I am here for this theory, I am shocked and I am on board. Coming into number 2, we have Poppinwise. There is a theory out there that Pennywise and Mary Poppins are the same species. Horrifying. Redditor Humanoid Mold 5 posted a terrifying theory suggesting that there is a species link between childhood favourite nanny Mary Poppins and murderous horror demon Pennywise. The theory has had over 3,000 upvotes in 3 days. Let me give you the details. So Pennywise and Mary Poppins regenerate and return every 20-something years. 27 years for Pennywise, 25 years for Mary Poppins, and they tend to re-emerge to families they've had a connection with. The pair both have similar powers and are fond of singing and dancing, although one creature is decidedly more sinister. They both have living reflections that can function separately from their present selves. The pair both know what lurks in children's minds, only Poppins chooses joy and Pennywise chooses fear and evil. The Redditor draws a link here with Monsters Inc. and says that perhaps the reason Mary Poppins is kind and friendly is because laughter is worth more than fear to these type of energy demons, and Pennywise hasn't figured it out yet. Maybe Mary Poppins is only friendly because it better serves her. With that in mind, imagine what she would be like as a horror character, because I am scared. Both Pennywise and Poppins seem to have a penchant for balloons, and they seem to like Georgies. Honestly, I'm convinced. Taking it to the real world at number 1, we have the Bell Witch. Okay, so It is a fictitious story. Pennywise isn't real, demons don't appear and disappear and then reappear over time unless they actually do. There is a Tennessee urban legend based on real-life weird occurrences. In 1817, a cruel presence began haunting John Bell at his family home. They had lived on the property for 13 peaceful years, but suddenly all of that changed. They began seeing weird animals and hearing knocking sounds and chains being dragged and weird guttural gurglings coming from the wall. This all went on for a year, and John Bell finally confided in his neighbours, and a committee was formed to investigate what was happening. It seemed that a witch had begun communicating with crowds that formed to see what was going on. The energy seemed to feed her and spur her on. Sound familiar, right? Indeed, many say they spoke to the witch. It seems she knew details of the past and future, and she told those who asked that her goal was to kill John Bell and to make sure his daughter did not marry a neighbour. John Bell died after a long illness in 1820, and eventually his daughter's marriage was called off, which seemed to make the witch happy. In 1821, declaring her work was done for now, the witch said that she would leave for 7 years but then return. Which she did. She came back to talk with Bell's son, saying that there was a reason his dad had to die, but she never disclosed her motives. Great. She then fled again, saying she'd be back in 107 years, which would have been 1935. Now, it is undocumented whether or not she did return, but if we link this to the Pennywise universe, perhaps nobody remembered. To me, the Bell Witch and Pennywise have a lot in common. They're both creepy demons that seem to be able to disappear and appear at their own whim, basically. They feed off energy of other people, and sure, the timeline is a bit different, but there are some shocking similarities, and the Bell Witch thing did kind of happen in real life, which stresses me out. Okay, enough stress though, this is a fun video, so let's just move on with our lives, because Pennywise isn't real, unless he is, in which case, I don't know what to do. Just pray. Pray! Pray. What did you guys think to these theories? Let me know which you think might be true in the comment section down below. Now before I go, I'm gonna read some comments from one of my most recent videos. This is the top 10 scary paranormal events caught on camera. We had an excellent comment from Not As Good As. They said, if I die tomorrow and if I become a ghost, I would be purposefully caught on tape and hope that Rebecca narrates my sightings. She narrates really awesome. Lol. Please don't let that be your main aim in life. Like, if you do something awesome, I'll narrate that too. But I like the thought of that ghost just like purposefully trying to show up on film. Like, what's a ghoul got to do to be captured on camera these days? Carol Cumberland said, I live with 4 spooks, 1 is evil, I'm positive of it. So yeah, our home believes in spooks and I love the company. Carol, I need more information! What do you mean? You can't just drop that an evil spook lives in your house and not give me anything else to work with. What about the other 3? Are they good? Are you happy? Do you need help? Do I need to reform the Ghostbusters and come down there? Let me know. I live alone, so the only spook in the house is me, although I do like to walk around the house wearing like a long, sweeping, dramatic kimono. So, you know. Good. Okay, we've reached the end of the video. If you haven't yet left a thumbs up, please go ahead and do so. If you haven't yet subscribed to our most amazing family, why not go ahead? We're almost 6 million strong now, which I think is enough people to, you know, go bust those ghosts. We ain't afraid of no ghosts here. Pennywise, I guess, is a whole different thing. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate. Check out the links in the description box if you want to read more about our sources and find our most amazing Instagrams to connect with us off screen. We've got a whole playlist, so stick around, but I will see you next time. Bye!